00J Love. Like, comment, subscribe. Today I am making my second daughter, my youngest daughter, youngest child, a busy book. The intention is to make it for her. And on this one, I am going to make a single page with a bouncer. I am all over the place, really, to be honest with you, because I'm not sure what all I want to do. I want to make this book, I believe, some of it cloth, some of it felt, just to give it different texture. And I'm going to say also a different feel than what I've been doing or putting out. This will be my 5th book. This will be my second living room type of household book. My first purple book I made was like a front door home, a young lady or young person with the living room, bedroom, bath, shower, like a household. And so the goal of this book is to make like an infant, toddler, place to stay, rest their head, play, toys, tub, bath, just for an infant. So I saw this on either probably both Pinterest, and I also saw it on YouTube, and I was like, oh, I think that's so cute. My other 3-4 books have been more learning, counting, subtracting, colors, shapes, puzzles. So this one I went to the realm of, like I'm saying, a household. So I was just like, let me just use my glue gun so I'm not doing too much stitching and sewing, and it's not too time consuming, because the glue gun just helps me go much more faster than sewing everything. So I was trying to build like a few colors and, like I said, textures. So some things I was thinking about doing that in felt, and then I decided to just do it in cloth. And I was trying to see, I wanted to do a snap and not a Velcro, so I did end up doing a snap. I think it would have been easier, especially for a child, to do Velcro. So I didn't. I don't think I really considered that. I could still go back and take it off, but now that I'm thinking about it, I may just make it Velcro, because that snap is not the easiest. On this particular, the bouncer, it's not the easiest. And I'm doing everything freestyle. There's no pattern, there's no design, there's just the imagination. So of course, I think it takes a little bit longer to put everything together, because I do my own templates. So I pretty much draw out what I believe I want to have in the book. And then I go from there and just free hand all of my details and designs. But using your imagination for me does take me a little bit of time, because I want it. See, so like I did this bouncer, and then I'm like, oh, it's like so plain. There's no this and that. So I may go back later and add maybe stars or something, because this is going to be the front page. So I did, I was thinking about, I could do stars, or I could do hearts, or I can do something. The main color on this book is going to be purple. So everything else is going to go in this book. What I've done differently from all my other books is I got all of my pages. Well, I drew out my template of what I believe I want. So I'm going to have 5 total pages, including the cover and the back. See, these are the snaps. They're so small that I think I was even having a little trouble. It just would have been easier and faster if I just Velcro it. So I'll just think about that. But what I did differently was I took the size of the pages that I want. I cut them all, made sure I cut them the same size. I started there, because the other ones I was like, oh, I want this page, and cut that page in 2 pages. Then I went back and, oh, I want this page. And they was pretty much the same size dimensions that I'm using. I believe I did a 8.5 width and then like a 10, maybe 10 and a half inches lengthwise. And I just picked up a book. I came to those numbers because I picked up a book and I said, okay, this is a good size book, or this is the size book that I would want to have. I do want to add a book handles on it. And I just think that I do want to add a little bit more background. I was going to say noise, but background features or background look. Because my other book I put so much into the book that this one is like, it's missing so much because I was able to do these pretty fast and not take too long. Now this one actually did take longer than, I already just finished 2 other pages. This actually did take long. I've shrunken down an hour. So this took me roughly an hour. And if it took me an hour from me videoing it, it probably took a little bit longer because sometimes I pause it and maybe go get something to drink or do this and do that. So it probably took me a little bit more than an hour just because I was doing a little more sewing, I want to say. And then also I knew I wanted to make a bouncer, but what was the bouncer going to look like? Was I going to do felt or cloth or what? And I just wasn't sure. So on this part, I'm adding the wire part of a bouncer. So I was just doing that. And I always try to save a lot of my felt as much as possible. So that's the little metal as far as the bouncer. And I just moved the snap down a little because I thought it was too high, because it was a little hard to unsnap it and snap it. So I believe that's why, again, I said I probably should have made it Velcro. That was the picture that I looked at, that I saw on YouTube, and I said, oh, that is so cute, I want to make that. So that's what I drew out to make. See, and so the other part is I wasn't sure what I wanted to use as far as I ended up putting, those are letters for my daughter's name. So I ended up doing the thicker string because I was going to stitch each letter there. And then I came up with a better idea to me is to be able to move the letters around, up and down the string, left and right. And I just stitched that thicker string with the yarn. Excuse me, I use yarn to stitch. Excuse me, I use yarn for the letter cubes, and I just stitched it with regular needle and thread. And I just added the glue just to make sure that it doesn't come apart. It's probably not necessary, but just because I would want this to last for years and years and years. Then I was like, it still needs something else. And then I came up with the buttons. Just still needed something else. Especially since this is going to be my front page. And so like I said, this is what I was trying to see if I wanted to use those white flowers. And then I found smaller purple flower buttons to go on the snap. Since I had those two at the bottom, I had another one to go on top of the snap on the bouncer. And I thought that looked nice and came out nice. Because I was going to use my little bitty button and I didn't. It looked offset. So I used the little small flower that looked much better to go with the two at the bottom. I'm just stitching the buttons in, and that's just, you know, that takes time and a little time consuming. That's why that glue gun is just much more faster. And we have it here, 00J Love. Like, comment, subscribe, follow.